How's it going?
Okay.
Everything's okay?
Yeah.
How's your job? How's your job?
How about job?
Yeah, your job. How about your job?
Yeah. It's normal.
On last Saturday, you have something to do, so you have to go to the company, huh?
Yeah.
Normally you don't have to work on Saturday, right?
Yeah. We off in Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, yes.
But sometimes in the report periods, we maybe come to office to work some report.
Some days, okay.
Yeah.
All right. In the peak period time, huh?
Yeah.
I see. And how's the book going? The book I recommend to you. Did you finish it?
The
book.
The book.
Yeah.
I am keep going to read.
Okay.
Yeah. But my husband my husband seem like that. Yeah.
Okay.
He read it usually every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you like that book? Do you like that kind of book?
Yeah, I like it. But I have a lot of time. I have not a lot of time to read it usually.
Okay.
And yeah.
It's just 300 pages, so you can finish within 1 or 2 weeks if you read it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and now we are going to learn another lesson. It's still easy for you, right? I think so. Yeah.
I just read the first page.
The main text.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And did you listen to the lesson?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Is there any new words for you?
Cemetery.
Cemetery. You can pronounce these words by 2 ways. The first one is cemetery. Okay, like you read it, and the other way is cemetery. Cemetery.
Cemetery.
2 ways.
Cemetery.
Cemetery is where. All right, when you are dead, okay, you will bury in cemetery.
Bury.
You know, bury. Bury. Like bury. Cemetery is the place for dead people.
The place for the dead people. Yeah.
Yes. So we call it cemetery. You will be buried in cemetery when you dead.
Yeah. Bury, I don't.
Nghĩa trang nghĩa địa.
Bury là nghĩa gì nhỉ?
Chôn. Chôn hả? Okay, cemetery. Ancestors. Okay. Ancestor is your relative, but they are live long ago. They're dead. Your relatives, but they are already dead, and they live long ago. Lived long ago. Ancestor. Your relative, you know relative, right?
Relative. Yeah.
Relative.
Relative. Mối quan hệ.
Yes. Relative. No, relative. Relatives. People have relationship with you really close, like your parents, your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your cousin,
great father, great mother.
Yes. So we call it relatives, but
yeah,
ancestor is our relatives, but they lived long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
In the past, and they're already dead. Okay. Tổ tiên. Ancestors. Tổ tiên của chúng ta. Okay.
Somber.
Somber is boring. Like,
boring.
Yeah, very boring.
Yeah.
Boring and sad. Sad atmosphere. Like in Vietnam, when you go to the cemetery, you always feel somber. Like you feel sad, you feel boring. Kiểu như là buồn nhỉ, buồn nhưng mà kiểu theo hướng rất buồn ấy, u ám ấy, tẻ nhạt.
Okay.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, still easy, huh? All right. Now I want you to read it for me. To make sure that you know every word, how to pronounce it. Yeah. Read it for me, please.
Day of the dead.
Dead.
Dead. Day of the dead. I write in watermelon in the day of the dead.
On the
day of the dead. November, the first time.
No, November 1st.
No, November 1st.
Yeah, first.
I'm curious about this holiday, so I go to the cemetery to see what's happening. What I find is quite interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. The atmosphere is like a party.
Okay.
Party.
Okay, there is no S here. Not us. Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Not moss. Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. It's like a party.
Like a party, okay.
Like a party.
Okay.
There are people everywhere.
Okay.
Families are sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Ancestors.
Yep.
They clean the graves and add fresh flowers. I walk through the cemetery and admire the beauty of all the colorful flowers.
Admire. Oh, yes, admire.
Admire.
Yeah.
There is also color in the sky because many kids are flying skies.
Because. Yeah.
Because many kids are flying kites. Some family are having a picnic next to the grave. They eat, drink, and chat together. People laugh and smile.
Yeah.
In the United States.
Okay. Sorry, because they write it wrong. This here is D, not S. So we say it. No. This here, no S here, but D. D instead of S. United States. United States. Yeah.
Cemeteries are always somber. We certainly We certainly never have festivals or parties next to the graves.
Certainly, right? Not certainly.
Certainly, yeah. We don't laugh or play music or fly skies in cemetery either.
Okay, either or either.
Either.
Two ways to pronounce these words, but this one is where is it? Play, not play.
Play.
Okay, and music, no S.
Play music.
Yep.
Or fly kites.
Not guy, but kites.
Kite. Nhưng mà kites hay là kites?
Kites.
Kites.
Yeah.
In the cemeteries, either.
Yeah, either.
Yeah. Either. I find that I prefer the watermelon approach.
Yep.
I like the way they remember and celebrate those who have passed away.
Yeah,
passed away.
Yeah.
Passed away. I like that they acknowledge death.
Acknowledge death. Yes.
Death. Instead of denying it the way American do.
Denying
it the way Americans do. I like that there is life as well as that in their cemeteries. Watermelons call it the day of the dead, but it's also a day of appreciate life.
Not also, but also.
Also.
Yeah. Appreciate
life. Appreciate có nghĩa là nhân cuộc sống thực sự. Nhân ra cuộc sống.
Không phải nhân ra mà kiểu trân trọng hơn cái cuộc sống. Ngày của người chết hả? Tôi để chỗ này watermelon vào ngày của người chết, người ta gọi lễ của cho người chết hả? Vào một ngày như vậy đó chỉ là ngày mùng 1 tháng 10 ha. Mùng 1 tháng
11.
Tháng 11 rồi. Tôi thì tò mò về ngày lễ này, thế nên là tôi đi ra cái nghĩa trang để xem gì xảy ra hả? Và những cái mà tôi thấy thì nó quite interesting.
Khá thú vị.
The atmosphere là cái bầu không khí thì nó giống như
một buổi tiệc
và có
mọi người khắp nơi.
Ở khắp nơi.
Gia đình thì ngồi
xung quanh những mộ của người chết của họ, và họ clean, họ làm sạch những ngôi mộ và add fresh,
cắm thêm hoa,
và cắm thêm hoa tươi. Và tôi đi qua cái
trang
và admire là chiêm ngưỡng cái vẻ đẹp của những cái hoa sặc sỡ.
Đây có sắc
để màu sắc và sặc sỡ và cũng có màu sắc ở trên bầu trời, bởi vì
chơi diều
nhiều rồi. Một vài gia đình ấy thì có một picnic, có một kiểu như buổi dã ngoại bên cạnh những ngôi mộ, và họ ăn, họ uống và
nói chuyện với nhau,
họ cười nói đốm dạ với nhau. Ở Mỹ thì cemetery là những cái nghĩa trang ấy thì nó luôn luôn ảm đạm u buồn ha, và chắc chắn là họ không bao giờ có những cái lễ hội hay là party, bữa tiệc bên cạnh những ngôi mộ, và chúng tôi không bao giờ cười hoặc là chơi nhạc hay là
thả diều ở nghĩa trang.
Và tôi nhận ra rằng là tôi thích cái cách tiếp cận cái cách tiếp cận của người Guatemala hơn. Tôi thích cái cách mà họ nhớ và họ
kỷ niệm
làm
người đã chết,
họ kỷ niệm những cái người mà đã chết. Và tôi thích rằng là gì, họ acknowledge là họ
hiểu
họ acknowledge cái chết, là họ thừa nhận cái chết thay vì deny là
từ chối nó,
phủ nhận nó, những cái cách mà Americans do,
người Mỹ làm
những cái cách mà người Mỹ làm đấy. Và tôi thích rằng là gì, ở đó thì có có sự sống đấy, cũng như là cái chết trong những cái nghĩa trang của họ. Và người Guatemala thì có cái ngày đấy là ngày của người chết, nhưng mà đó cũng là ngày để trân trọng cuộc sống hơn, để enjoy cuộc sống hơn, để trân trọng cuộc sống hơn. Alright. Okay, let's say now we're going to change it into another person, not I anymore. Let's say Tom arrives, okay?
Yeah.
Change the people. So Tom arrives in Guatemala on the day of the dead, all right? And he is curious about this holiday and so on, all right? We change I into Tom. And I'm going to ask you in present tense, okay? Present tense first. Okay, who arrives in Guatemala?
And Tom arrived in watermelon.
Tom arriving or Tom arrives in? Arrives in.
Tom arrived in.
Arrives in. Okay. Arrives in. Watermelon.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does Tom arrive?
Tom arrives in watermelon.
Watermelon. Okay.
Watermelon.
Okay. When does Tom arrive in watermelon? When?
Tom. Please repeat the question.
Yeah. When does Tom arrive in watermelon?
Yeah. Tom arrives in watermelon on the day of the dead, November 1st.
November 1st.
First, yeah.
Okay. Does Tom arrive in Guatemala on December 1st?
No. Tom doesn't arrive on December 1st. He arrives in on November 1st.
Okay. November 1st. Does Tom arrive in Guatemala on summer holiday?
Summer holiday?
Yeah.
I think no.
No. All right.
Tom arrived on the day of the dead.
Okay. On the day of the dead holiday, not summer holiday.
Yeah.
Who arrived in Guatemala on the day of the dead, November 1st?
Tom arrives in Guatemala on the day of the dead, November 1st.
Tom, right? Okay. Who is curious about the holiday?
The person curious about this holiday is Tom.
Tom. What is Tom curious about?
Tom curious about the day of the dead holiday.
Okay. So what does he do when he's curious about the day of the dead holiday? What does he do?
When he curious about the day of the dead, he goes to the cemetery to see what's happening.
Okay. He goes to the cemetery to see what's happening. Okay. Yeah. Who goes to cemetery?
Tom goes to the cemetery.
Why? Okay. Why does Tom go to the cemetery?
Tom goes to the cemetery because he is curious about the day of the dead holiday.
And he goes there to see what's
happening. Yeah.
Okay. When does he go to the cemetery?
He goes to the cemetery on the day of the dead, November 1st.
Day of the dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Does he go to the cemetery in Vietnam?
No, he doesn't go to cemetery in Vietnam.
Okay. And what he finds is quite interesting. Is what he finds boring?
No, he find is quite interesting.
What is quite interesting for him?
Why?
What
Oh.
is quite interesting?
Yeah. He felt the atmosphere atmosphere is like a party.
Okay. What's happening in the cemetery is quite interesting for him, huh? Okay. What's happening in the cemetery is quite interesting for him. Is it right? I asked you that. Okay. What is quite interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So what's happening in the cemetery is quite interesting for him. Yeah.
The atmosphere is like a party.
Yeah, it's kind of, but I asked you that what is quite interesting. Cái gì nó khá thú vị á.
Yeah.
Cái gì nó khá thú vị.
Yeah, the day of the dead holiday.
Những cái mà xảy ra ở trong
Yeah, yeah.
quite interesting for him, for Tom, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So the atmosphere is like a party. What is like a party?
The atmosphere like a party.
Where does the atmosphere is like a party?
In the cemetery.
Okay. The atmosphere is
like
the atmosphere in the cemetery is like a party. I see. Is the atmosphere sad for Tom?
I don't think so.
Okay, you don't think so?
So Tom seems is quite interesting.
Okay. So is the atmosphere in the restaurant like a party?
No. This lesson don't mention that. Yeah.
Okay, good. So what is like a party?
The atmosphere in the cemetery is like a party.
Okay. All right. Are there cows everywhere in the cemetery? Cows. Yeah.
No. There is
Yeah.
There aren't cows
everywhere.
Yeah.
So what is everywhere?
What is people everywhere?
People are everywhere. People are everywhere. Not cows. Yeah. You know cow, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yep. Okay. And families are sitting around the graves and of their dead ancestors. Where are they sitting around? Where are families sitting around?
Families sit around the grave of their dead ancestors.
Ancestors, okay. Whose graves are family sitting around? Whose graves?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Our family sitting around.
Families sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors.
Okay. Do they sit around the graves of their friend?
No.
No.
Okay. They sit around around the grave of their dead ancestors.
Okay. They aren't sit around the graves of their friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. Do they sit around the table at their house?
No, they aren't sit around a table in the house. In their house.
Do they have a party on the beach?
No, they they aren't have they does not have a party on the beach.
Okay, they does not or they do not.
They do not.
They don't. Okay, they don't have a party
Yeah.
on the beach. Okay.
On the beach.
So, where do they sit?
They sit. They sit. They sit around the graves of their dead ancestors.
Okay, they sit around the graves of their dead ancestors. Okay. What do they do to the graves? What do they do?
They clean the graves and add fresh flowers.
They clean the graves and add fresh flowers. Do they add dried flowers to the graves? Dried.
Why?
Dried.
Dry. I don't know.
Dried.
Why? Hoa khô.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. No. And they don't add dried flowers
to
the grave.
Okay. What kind of flowers do they add to the grapes?
They add fresh flowers to grapes.
To the grape, fresh flowers. Okay. What do they add to the grape?
And they add to the grape and fresh flower.
Where do they add fresh flowers to?
They add fresh flower to grapes.
To the grapes. Whose grapes do they add fresh flowers to?
And they add fresh flowers to grapes of their dead ancestors.
Okay. To the graves of their dead ancestors. Okay. Who cleaned the grave?
The family. The family of the family joy the day of the dead.
Okay. In cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Some families they clean the graves. Okay. And Tom walks through the cemetery and admires the beauty of all the colorful flowers. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do Tom walk through?
Tom walks through the cemetery.
Does Tom walk through the park?
No. Tom don't. Tom don't walk through the park.
Tom don't or Tom doesn't?
Tom doesn't.
Tom doesn't walk through the park. Okay.
Yeah.
Who walked through the park?
Nobody walk through the park.
Nobody, not nobody, but nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody walks through the park. Okay.
Yeah.
Who walked through the cemetery?
Tom walks to the cemetery.
Tom, right? Tom walks through the cemetery. And what does he admire? in the cemetery?
Yeah.
What does he admire?
He admires the beautiful beauty of all the colorful flowers.
He admires the beauty of colorful flowers in cemeteries. Okay, where does he admire the beauty of the colorful flowers?
He admires the beautiful of all the colorful flowers at the cemetery.
At the cemetery or in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Okay. Who admires the beauty of colorful flowers?
Tom admires the beauty of all the colorful flowers.
Does he admire the beauty of girls in the cemetery?
No. He doesn't admire the beautiful of the girl in the cemetery.
Okay. Are flowers colorful? Are flowers colorful in cemetery?
Yes. The flowers are colorful.
Flowers are colorful in cemetery. Okay. Is there any color in the sky?
Yes. There is color in the sky.
Okay. Why is the color in the sky?
Because many kids fly kites.
Because many kids fly kites. That's why they make the color in the sky, make the sky colorful. Okay. Do adults fly kites?
No. Adult doesn't fly kites.
Adults don't fly kites. Okay. Do the kids run around the cemetery?
No, the kid doesn't run around cemetery.
So what do they do in cemetery?
The kids fly kites.
The kids fly kites. Okay, the kids fly kites. Who fly kites in cemetery?
The kids.
The kids. Okay, fly
kite.
Do the kids fly kite on the beach?
No, the kid doesn't fly kites on the beach. They fly kites on the cemetery.
The kids don't. Okay, the kids don't fly kites on the beach. Okay. And some families are having a picnic next to the river. Sorry, next to the graves. Okay. Yeah. Do family have a picnic next to the river?
No. They. Please repeat the question.
Okay. Do some family have a picnic next to the river?
No. The family doesn't have picnic to the river, next to the river.
Okay. They don't have a picnic next to the river. Where do they have a picnic?
They have a picnic next to graves on cemetery. Yeah.
In cemetery. Whose graves do they have a picnic next to?
The graves of their deaths ancestor.
The graves of their dead ancestors. Okay, they have a picnic next to the graves of their dead ancestors. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have a picnic next to their alive ancestors? Alive.
Alive. No.
No.
Alive.
Yeah, alive. Alive.
Yeah.
Do they?
No. They don't. They don't. They don't have a picnic. Next to alive. In atmosphere. Cemetery.
They don't have a picnic next to the graves of their alive ancestors. Next to the graves of their alive ancestors.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So where do they have a picnic next to?
Where?
Yeah, where do they have a picnic?
Yeah. They have a picnic next to the graves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of their dead ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah. What do they do next to the graves?
Yeah. They do. They eat, drink, and chat together next to the graves.
They eat, they drink, they chat, they laugh, they smile next to the grave.
Yeah.
Okay. Who eat next to the graves in cemetery?
The family of the dead ancestry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who laugh next to the grave in the restaurant?
The lesson don't mention about it.
Okay.
I think that
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody laughs. Nobody laughs next to the grave in cemetery. Okay. All right. So who laugh next to the grave in cemetery?
The family of the dead ancestry.
Ancestor. Ancestors. Okay. Cemetery and ancestors. And are the cemeteries in Vietnam always somber?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All cemetery in Vietnam are very somber.
Okay. Cemeteries in Vietnam are always somber. Okay.
Yeah.
Are cemeteries in Guatemala always somber?
No. No. Cemetery in Guatemala though and always somber is quite interesting.
Okay. The atmosphere there is like a party. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are the cemeteries always somber? Where?
Cemetery in the United States are always somber. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How's the atmosphere in cemeteries in the United States? How's the atmosphere there?
Yeah. The atmosphere in the cemetery in the United States are always somber.
Are always somber. Okay. Do people always feel sad when they go to the cemeteries in the United States?
Yes. They always feel Sad.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. Yeah.
When they go to?
When they go to the cemetery in United States.
I see. Okay. Do they have festivals or parties next to the graves in United States?
No. They don't have festival or party next to the grave.
They don't. Okay, they don't have festivals or parties. What don't they have next to the graves in United States? What don't they have?
They don't have festival or party next to the graves.
Okay, they don't have festivals or parties. Okay.
Yeah.
Who don't have festivals or parties next to the graves?
The United States.
Mm-hmm.
The United States.
People in United States.
Yeah, people
don't have.
Yeah, don't have festival and party next to graves.
Okay. People in the United States never have festivals or parties next to the grave.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have festivals and parties on the mountains in the United States?
Maybe I think maybe have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they have festivals and parties next
in the mountain.
On the mountain. All right.
Yeah.
But not next to the graves.
Yeah.
Because cemeteries are always somber for them. Okay.
Yeah.
And do they laugh and play music next to the graves?
No, they don't laugh or play music in the cemetery.
Okay. Do they feel happy in cemeteries in the United States? In the United States, do they feel happy?
No, they don't, and they don't feel happy
in the
cemetery.
Okay, in the cemeteries in the United States.
Yeah, in the United States.
They don't feel happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the kids fly kites in cemeteries in the United States?
No. And the kids in the United States don't fly kite in the cemetery.
Okay. What does Tom prefer in cemetery? What does Tom prefer?
Tom prefers the watermelon approach.
Okay. Tom prefers the watermelon approach more than the United States approach. Okay. Does Tom prefer the Vietnamese approach?
No, Tom does prefer the Vietnamese approach.
Okay. How does Guatemalan remember and celebrate the dead people?
They and the way
how do they remember? How?
Yeah, the way they remember, they have a festival or party next to the.
Okay. Okay. They remember and celebrate the dead people by having a picnic, Okay. Next to the graves, they eat and drink together next to the graves. That's how they celebrate those who have passed away. Okay. When do they have festivals or parties next to the graves? When?
They please repeat the question.
When do they have festivals or parties next to the graves?
Yeah, and they have a festival or party next to grave on the Day of the Dead.
On the Day of the Dead holiday, huh? On the Day of the Dead, they have festivals and parties next to the graves. Okay. Do Americans acknowledge the death?
No.
No.
The American don't acknowledge that.
Okay. Who denying the death? Who denied the death?
American denies the death.
Americans deny the death. Okay.
Denies.
Who acknowledge the death?
The watermelon acknowledge that.
Watermelons acknowledge the death. Okay. Do Vietnamese people acknowledge the death or denying it?
Vietnamese denies the death.
Okay. Is there life as well as death in Vietnamese cemeteries? What do you think?
I think, please repeat the question.
Okay. Is there life as well as death in Vietnamese cemetery?
I think I don't like the way Vietnamese the way Vietnamese không nhớ rõ hết câu hỏi.
Okay, is there life as well as death in Vietnamese cemetery?
I think I don't like.
Now, is there life?
Is there
life as well as death in Vietnamese cemetery?
Is there
life? Sư sống. Là cái chết.
No.
No.
There is not. There is not life in cemetery in Vietnam.
Okay. There isn't life as well as death in Vietnamese cemetery. Okay. Where do they have life as well as death in cemetery? Where?
And watermelon cemetery, there is life as well as death.
In Guatemala. Okay, in Guatemala, the cemeteries in Guatemala, they do have life and death. Okay, in their cemeteries. All right. How do they call that day?
Yeah, and they call that day the Day of the Dead.
Okay, the Day of the Dead. Do they call that day the Day of the Alive people?
No, they don't call it the Day of the alive people.
Okay. Do they use that day to have a party next to the graves?
Yes, they do. they do a party.
Use, okay.
A party next to the grave.
They use that day to have a party next to the graves. Okay.
Yeah.
Who call it the Day of the Dead?
Watermelon call it the Day of the Dead.
Watermelons call it the Day of the Dead. Do Vietnamese people call it the Day of the Dead?
No. Vietnamese people don't acknowledge the Day of the Dead.
Okay. So how's the atmosphere in cemetery in Vietnam? How's the atmosphere?
The atmosphere, the Day of the Dead in Vietnam is always sad and somber.
Sad and somber and boring. Okay.
Yeah.
And we don't call it the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
We don't have any party for that, huh?
Yeah.
All right. And do they consider the Day of the Dead? I mean, Guatemalans. Do Guatemalans consider the Day of the Dead to appreciate life?
Appreciate life.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. I think Guatemalan feel the Day of the Dead.
They consider the Day of the Dead.
See life.
Okay. Guatemalans consider the Day of the Dead as a day to appreciate life, huh? To appreciate life. Do they refuse the life in Guatemala? Do they refuse the life?
No. Guatemalan don't refuse the Day of the Dead.
Okay, the life. Okay, the life. They don't refuse the life. Okay, in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Right, it's too easy for you. Next time we will learn another thing. But right now I want you to change it into two tenses, past tense and future tense.
Yeah, two tense.
Past tense first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, do it now. I mean, I want you to change it into past tense and future tense. Past
and future, yeah.
Yes, do it now.
The Day of the Dead. Tom arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
Okay.
Tom was curious about this holiday.
Okay.
So Tom went to the cemetery to see what's happening.
Okay, what was happening?
What Tom found.
What he found?
He found quite interesting. Was interesting.
Quite interesting.
Interesting. The atmosphere was like a party.
Okay.
There were people everywhere. Families was sit around. A family sat around the grave of their dead ancestors.
Okay.
They cleaned.
They cleaned
the grave and added fresh flowers.
Okay.
He walked through the cemetery and admired the beauty of colorful flowers.
Okay, so do it for the future tense.
Yeah.
The last part.
There is There's
future
being
tense. Future tense.
future tense, yeah. There is being.
There is
Also color being. There.
Future tense.
There will also color in sky.
There will be also color in the sky.
Yeah, because many kids are flying kites.
Are flying kites? Future tense. Future.
Are going to fly in sky.
Okay.
Yeah. Some family will have a picnic next to grace. They are going to eat, drink, and chat together.
Okay.
People will laugh and smile.
Yeah.
In the United States, cemeteries will always somber.
Okay.
We certainly will never have festivals or parties next to grace.
Okay.
We will not laugh or play music or fly kites in cemetery either.
Okay. Is there any way to say will not in spoken English? Will not. How do you say will not?
Will
in spoken English.
Yeah. We
won't. Okay.
Won't. Yeah. Won't.
We won't. No.
We won't. Yeah. We won't.
Okay,
We won't.
Keep moving.
Yeah. I found that I prefer the watermelon approach. Yeah. I will Tom will like the way they remember and celebrate those who have passed away.
Okay.
Tom will like that they acknowledge that.
Okay. Acknowledge
that.
Okay.
Instead of denying is the way Americans do.
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I find that it's quite easy for you. So what we are going to do next time is I will give you a topic for us to discuss. Let's say, let me open some for you. And what are you going to do is prepare. Give me a moment. You have to prepare like let's say friends. Okay, can you see that? You see that, right? I will send you the topic.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see that?
Yeah. No.
You see it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do is you will prepare some question that you like in this topic, and then we will discuss about this topic.
Yeah.
Okay, when the class comes. All right, and we will mix. One day we will discuss one topic, and the other day, the next day, we will learn this. All right, let me open this for you. We will learn one lesson like this. Let's say here. All right, this is kind of long. All right, we will read it. we will read it. 6 pages. But yeah, you have to do it at home. And then I will ask you, I also ask you this kind of question.
Yeah.
Okay? And I will send it, all of these materials for you to prepare at home.
Yeah.
We will mix. One day we will discuss about one topic, and the other day we will learn one lesson. But this lesson is kind of longer than the current lesson we are learning now.
A long story, not mini story.
Yeah, it's still a mini story, but it's kind of long, like this, you know, long. And what you do is, you know, understand it, okay?
Yeah.
It's not too long. It's just 6 pages. No, 5 pages. 5.
Yeah.
5 pages. It depends on some lessons. Some lesson is shorter, 4 pages. Some lesson is longer, 6 or 7 pages. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we are going to do next time, because I find that it's too easy for you.
Yeah.
It's too easy for you. And also, in one lesson, I will ask you, you know, 3 tenses, of course, 3 tenses. But if I find that, oh, it's too easy for you for 1 tense, I will move to the next tense in 1 day, in 1 class, if it is possible. Okay.
Okay.
And the other thing you will do next time is you will, you know, make question for me to answer.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Make question for me. So when the time comes, I will guide you. I will instruct you how to do it. All right. If you don't know how to make questions, I will let you know when the time comes. All right. And that's what we are going to do next time. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, okay, so next class we will discuss about one topic. I will send you.
Yeah.
Okay. Right after our class finished. Yeah, like this.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for today. You're doing a good job, and hopefully you keep, you know, the energy and effort for learning English. Okay.
Thank you. I will keep going.
All right, but by the way, I want to remind you, keep doing shadowing, because lately you know, I didn't receive any shadowing video from you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to remind, because it's also important.
Yeah, I know. I will try to make a salary.
All right. Okay, that's it for today. And,
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Day. Have a good week.
Yeah.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.